Would you like to answer, Mr. Chairman?
Oui, alors, pour répondre à la question sur les tables européennes et le partage des liquidités, qu'est-ce qui s'oppose
First question on liquidity sharing and European countries. What is it that comes against this reform? Yes, the 2010 law has banned the sharing of liquidity or cash for pokers. For sporting and horse racing, gambling or betting, yes, this is accepted. So maybe the law could change. And the regulator, in fact, must be requested to do so if they believe that it is something that has to be done. So we're just waiting for question. By the way, on Arjel's sentiment, no, we haven't come to any final thinking because we believe that, and this is not a mystery, that the tax base can be a problem. The current one on bets is a problem. And it is a problem because it might prevent sometimes of gaming in which bets are very, very low to be organized. The rate that could be decided by the regulator, because it is up there to the regulator to decide, we don't know. It is not up to us to decide, and maybe Mr. Minister, the Minister of Budget, might help us thinking about this item. I would like to go above and beyond this question and say a number of things drawn from today's symposium, which have also come across a number of questions raised. Number one, it's been my pleasure, Mr. MP, of what you just said on the future assessment of the gaming policy. You told us that we should not turn things upside down. It is very dangerous in the field of gambling. Do not hesitate in opening up the windows, pulling down the walls if need be. Very useful. I would like to say that gambling is a sector, as was said by many speakers, which has been directly impacted by the development on the internet side. We constantly have to adapt. There's a real-time development to face changes, accelerations. And over the last 5 years, the world has changed. The gambling environment has changed. The players' positioning, technological changes, the financial challenge, the relation between gamblers and the games has also totally changed on the internet. In parallel to this, there is a need for more regulation. We see a multiplication of support. We see games on tablets, laptops, smartphones, everywhere. So you can play whenever you wish, wherever you are. Also, we see the young generation getting very accustomed to gaming, gambling. And this is an essential point to try and prepare. We've seen a proliferation of illegal sites, which we must fight. And as rightly underscored by the two operators, we now see a diversity of offering in the digital games, which can be quite a poison. We're also facing a worldwide development, more and more manipulations, machination from all the systems, many actions on money laundering. All this are alarm signals or warning signals that might help us understanding better the use or the usefulness of regulation in some sectors and consolidating our regulations. Now, if you look into what must change from the 2010 law, what should change? I'm not asking for more power as a personal note, but it is important to give the regulator more autonomy of intervention so that we can be more reactive, more efficient, effective. Alexandre Rose rightly underlined what we went through, what we know about in the field of poker game. Things are changing. I also find it is very important to try and harmonize the power of the regulator on the three sectors, given that now that we have quite a lot of power to act on sporting gaming, we have no power on the horse racing sector and poker game. And, you know, the financial masses are totally different, especially for horse racing, than what you can have for the online gambling. So this lack of consistency and the fact that we have different power to act, as I said this morning, is not properly understood by all the gamblers and by some operators who are telling us, but what are you doing? You're only, in fact, describing disasters, which is not the real situation. Well, then I find that it is important for the regulator to be able to anticipate and help the sector's evolution. Another interesting element I find, and thank you very much for the Spanish representative, Carlos Hernandez, to called this item. When we opened the games in front of 2010, we had two major operators in London, Française des Jeux and Spain. Now, what happened over the last years has been that the economic power has gone from the operators to other players, new platforms, game providers, and we must be in a position to regulate decently, so that we must also regulate elsewhere. As Carlos Hernandez said, different regulation framework. But if we want to fight against collusion, if we want to work on the right line against the right person, then we must have a different regulation. And it is very important in what the President of the Gambling Commission told us, that we must have more means to fight against illegal gambling and make all the players more responsible, more aware of their actions, so that they do not become service providers only, but real, reliable operators. And this implies working with them. I don't want to come back over the problem of surrendering money. This has already been debated, and our minister knows what my position is. Now, one item which I find deserves our further thinking. Very clearly, our regulation model for online gambling suffers from the fact that offering is too limited, too restricted, and many players, many gamblers try to find the possibility to gamble or play elsewhere. Now, we must maintain this banning on slot machines. We cannot gamble on slot machines. But given that we see this online gambling more and more intensing, and the fact that we may have online slot machines, we have to do something. We must find the new opportunities. Games such as video games, where you have to prove you're clever and agile, should be taken into account and be taken on board in our regulatory framework, leaving to the regulator the possibility to, like for any sporting event, the less dangerous, less risky games. It is something we should look into. Also, I find that to fight against illegal offering, we should try and open up the number of games or type of games. Illegal offering is another topic which we have in the pipeline. We must be in a position to fight against illegal actions on an equal footing, because the challenges are huge. What is at stake is enormous for our societies. Illegal offering is where we have weak persons, have no defense, they're very often deprived of the money spoil. There are other problems coming up, and the state or the government loses major fiscal amounts. Despite our efforts, this illegal offering is there with casinos, for instance. The president of the Gambling Commission also mentioned the conventions or agreement with the financial service providers. And us, if we want to be in a position to fight this illegal offering, we must in fact require the assistance of these providers, financial providers. It is a must for us, it is a priority, because it is within this financial remit that we shall really be in a position to fight above and beyond other illegal actions that we can take. Last, since 2005, well, I should say 2010, we see convergence of views, convergence of the networks in the games. Our citizens and consumers more and more play on all the networks. And the previous system we had between physical and online gambling does not mean much for the gamblers who play both on sporting events, horse racing sector, in the casino, everywhere. And despite the fact that we fight against the problems, we must have a consistent and exhaustive vision. It is also one item on which the evaluation mission will have to work. So, if we can find a convergence between all these games of gambling, if we can find a convergence between gaming, so no money, and gambling with profits, then we would do better. Gaming are more and more financial games with money. And we see, a connection between the two economic models, gambling and gaming, both. Again, we should here take this development on board and tackle the problems. If we do not do it, we shall see more and more money, non-regulated gaming, i.e. gambling, with a competitive taxation against the taxation of other games. This is a problem of adaptation or adjustment. Another aspect which I find is essential is very often we think in terms of types of games. What I see more and more is that there are types of games, but what is important to fight against illegal games are the game's characteristics or the features, i.e. the frequency, hope for a gain, this type of criteria which are very relevant, which provide a legal denomination for each game. Last, it is now necessary to go into more cooperation in view of the fact that risks have become global. And this is where the Convention of the Council of Europe is more than important, and it is my wish to see this convention ratified. In conclusion, from the regulator standpoint, we must base our action in a more and more complex environment. We see the environment accelerating. All these questions must be raised by the assessment or the evaluation mission, so that we can really help strengthening the basis of the 2010 law, i.e. the protection of gamers, gamblers, and more integrity, more game integrity. So again, think about the continuity of a regulated gaming environment, and it is through that continuous environment that we shall be able to fight illegal gambling, addiction, and frauds. Thank you very much. This is what I had to say. Thank you very much. These are my conclusions for the presidency.
Monsieur le ministre, si vous voulez bien nous faire...